Hey guys, what's up? Thought I'd do a quick review of the new DC Multiverse Scarecrow from Batman Arkham Knight. Now, this isn't that newer figure. I mean, it is and it isn't. McFarlane released a McFarlane Store exclusive gold label, which was the amber variant, which was a brown and gold version. This is the regular release with the more accurate color scheme. It's fairly new, so I thought it was worth taking a look at. Also because it's just an awesome figure. So here's the box art. You can see Scarecrow from Batman Arkham Knight, looking absolutely terrifying. Got a big upgrade from his appearance in Arkham Asylum. I suppose they made him the main villain in Arkham Knight. Spoilers. So he sort of got a redesign, and it was quite an epic redesign. I'm really pumped to take a closer look at this figure, so let's get into it. Right, so here we have Jonathan Crane, aka Scarecrow, from Batman Arkham Knight. He comes with absolutely zero accessories except for that display stand, which is standard for all the DC Multiverse figures, and a trading card as normal. You can see there's that awesome game art again, and the bio on the back if you want to pause and have a read of that. So putting that to one side, let's take a look at Scarecrow himself. So immediately my first impression of him is that he's lacking in paint, right? There's this beautiful sculpt with all this amazing sculpted detail. It's really, it's highly detailed, immaculate sculpting, but it's mostly black plastic. There are some highlights here around the fear gas canisters with orange. The rope noose around his neck is grey. You can see that his leg brace has been cast in a greyer plastic or a silvery plastic, but mostly, so is his head, but mostly he's black, right? Ordinarily, I'll go quite hard on McFarlane figures for the lack of paint, but when you really look at this sculpt and you think about how this is a unique tooling, unique mold, and just how detailed it is, honestly, it's really hard to be mad about the lack of paint. Sure, it could use some highlights. These canisters here could stand to be brought out a little bit more. It's very hard to complain when he just looks so good. I mean, if I bring him up closer, just have a look at the weathering on his cloak, the fine details in the fear toxin canisters. Of course, it's not venom, it's fear toxin. The detail in the noose, the finger needles, syringes, I should say, and especially this leg brace, which is accurate to the game, this sort of leg brace. I mean, it's stunning, right? Like, he looks amazing. My favorite part, I've got to say, is this head sculpt. And I've banged on about it before in some of my other videos, but look at that head sculpt. It's stunning. Really, really amazing stuff. It kind of has just like little pinpoint irises that have been painted on. So you have the dark sunken eyes with the yellow, and then the little iris in the middle, which just really brings out a lot of evil personality. And I think he's just, amazing. Can't stop looking at him. Can't stop posing him. And if you compare him to the recent Arkham City Ra's al Ghul, which has absolutely no personality at all, this is how a head sculpt should be done. It's you're in no doubt about how this guy's feeling, what his intentions are. He's evil and out to cause trouble, and I love it. In terms of the figure's articulation, it's par for the course for McFarlane. So he's got no impediments to his arms. He's got double jointed elbows, which are a little bit crunchy, fresh out of the box, hinged wrist. And you can see he's got double jointed knees, which are inhibited only by the sort of cloak. His cloak sort of stops his leg from doing too much, but you can do it. But what I really love is that this braced leg also, has great articulation. And I think that's quite, nifty, how seamless that looks when the leg is straight and when the leg is bent. I mean, it's just excellent stuff. In terms of the torso, I mean, all of this is sort of under the cover of these canisters. So it's all one piece, and that's that soft plastic there. He's not going to do much, right? He barely rotates from side to side. If he had a torso swivel, you'd tear this plastic. So look, a trade-off has been made. Barely any forward crunch, tiny bit of back, not much forward. You know, compromises have been made so that he can look that good. And I think it's the right call. You know, this is a figure that Scarecrow doesn't really do acrobatics. He's not hunching. He's usually just standing there looking like a total badass. And this figure does that. So I support that compromise, I've got to say. In terms of the head, again, the hood setup really prevents him from too much movement. You can't really make him look up. You can make him look down and level, you know. So he'll look directly at you, he'll look down at you, and he'll look from side to side, obviously, but he's not looking up in the sky, which is fine. If you wanted to remove that noose, you might get a little bit more movement, but not much. That is a separate piece that you could just take off if you pop the head off, but I'm not doing that because the noose looks awesome. Yeah, so there you have it, Arkham Knight Scarecrow. Not much to say about him other than he's one of the best figures that McFarlane has released this year, in my opinion. And you know, other than maybe a bit of extra paint and an accessory, he's perfect. Although, what other accessories could he really have come with? Perhaps some alternate hands. But other than that, I really can't think of anything that would have substantially improved him. Should you get him? Yeah, absolutely. If you are a collector of the Arkham franchise figures, then this is obviously a must-have. But even if you just want a good Scarecrow for the collection, like, this is the one to get so far. You know, your choices are the Last Night on Earth Scarecrow, which McFarlane did a few years ago, which is a far out there design with no legs, sort of hangs on Bane's back. Not going to really fit the bill for a classic Scarecrow. The only other Scarecrow McFarlane has made is this guy right here, Infinite Frontier Scarecrow, which you know, is very cool, right? Like, it's a really crazy design with the sort of Japanese Ronin-looking design with the gas mask and the robes. Like, it's really awesome. I'm glad I have it, but it doesn't scream Scarecrow like this guy does. Although if you actually look at it, they both have the whole like canister, syringe fingers motif going on, which is interesting. And yeah, it's interesting that neither of them is the typical Scarecrow with a scythe. That may come, that classic comic Scarecrow, but you know, in the absence of that, this is the one to get. I mean, this is a good comic Scarecrow. It's a good Arkham Scarecrow, as good as you could really get. I think you should go and buy him because he's amazing, and I don't want to jump the gun, but I'd be shocked if he did not end up on my top 10 figures of the year. I enjoy him that much. So if you see him, you should buy him, is what I think about that. So, yep, hope you enjoyed these impressions. I hope I've sort of helped you decide whether you're going to invest in this guy or not. Until next time, yeah, if you like the video, hit like, consider subscribing if you want to see me ramble about other figures, and I'll see you guys soon. Thanks. Bye.